succeed, will she go to him?
She will go. She knows he needs her. Tell him.
I will tell him. I will tell him it is she who needs him.
This also will be true. This woman knows many things, but this I think she does not know. She'll always go along, defend him when he's wrong, and tell him when he's wrong. He is wonderful. He'll always need her love, and so he'll get her love. A man who needs your love can be wonderful.
Your Majesty. Your Majesty. Your Majesty is reading the Bible.
Oh, Mrs. Anna! I think your Moses shall have been a fool.
Moses?
Moses, Moses, Moses. Here it is written that the world was created in 6 days. Now, you know and I know that the world took many, many ages to be created. I think he was a fool to have written it. What is your opinion?
Your Majesty, the Bible was not written by men of science, but by men of faith. And it's their explanation of the miracle of creation, which is the same miracle whether it took 6 days or many centuries.
So, you have come to apologize.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but...
Good, you apologize.
Your Majesty,
I accept.
Your Majesty, nothing has been said that can alter the fact that in my country, anyone who makes a promise...
Enough! Tell me, this President Lincoln, will he be winning this war he is fighting at present? Does he have enough guns and elephants for transporting sail?
I don't think there are any elephants in America, Your Majesty.
No elephants? Then I shall send him some. You will write letter to Mr. Lincoln.
Now?
Now, when else? Now is always best time.
Very well, Your Majesty.
From Mahamungut, I am blessing of the highest super agency in all the world, in all the universe, the King of Siam. Sovereign of all tributary nations adjacent and around in every direction, etc., etc., etc. Do you have no respect for me? Why is your head above mine? I cannot stand all the time, and in this country no one's head shall be higher than the king's. From now on in presence, you shall conduct yourself like all other subjects.
You mean on the floor? I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I shall try very hard not to let my head be higher than yours. But I simply could not grovel about on the floor. I couldn't possibly work that way or think.
You are a very difficult woman. But you shall observe care that your head is never going to be higher than king's. If I shall sit, you shall sit. If I shall kneel, you shall kneel, etc., etc., etc.
Very well, Your Majesty.
Is promise?
Is promise.
Good. To his royal presidency of the United States of America, Abraham Lincoln, etc., etc., you fix up. It has occurred to us. It has occurred to us. It has occurred to us that if several pairs of young male elephants were set loose in the forests of America, that after a while they would increase.
Just male elephants, Your Majesty?
You put in details. Right now my mind are on other matters. Other very important matters.
Anything you wish to discuss, Your Majesty?
Why would I discuss important matters with woman?
Very well. I shall return to my room. May I say good night?
Good night.
Your Majesty,
What?
I was wondering when the boat arrived from Singapore yesterday.
Singapore! Ha!
Was there any news from abroad?
News? Yes, there are news. They call me barbarian.
Who?
Certain people who would use this as an excuse to try and steal my country. Suppose you are Queen Victoria, and someone tells you King of Siam is barbarian. You believe?
Well, I...
You will.
But
You
this...
believe because there is no one there to say otherwise.
But this is a lie.
It is a false lie.
What have you decided to do about it, Your Majesty?
You guess.
Well, if someone were telling a big lie about me to England, I should do my best to send the truth to England. Is that what you have decided to do, Your Majesty?
Yes, that is what I have intended to do. But how? You guess how I shall do this.
Well, my guess would be that when Sir Edward
Ramsay?
the British diplomat,
Ah, yes, on way from Singapore. When he arrives, I shall take the opportunity to express how I feel about English thieves. I will show them who is barbarian. Why you make that face?
well, Your Majesty, my guess would be that you will not fight Sir Edward.
I will not.
No. You will entertain him and his party in an especially grand manner, and then they will return to England and report to the Queen that you are not a barbarian.
Yes, that is what I have intended to do.
It's the only way to get the better of the British. Stand up to them, put your best foot forward. Oh, that's just an expression, Your Majesty. It means put on your finest clothes. Show them your most intelligent men, your most beautiful women. Edward admires beautiful women.
Edward? You call him this?
Oh, we are old friends. When I lived in Bombay, before I was married.
Ah. I do not suppose it would be proper for the British dignitary to see my women with no shoes on their feet. Would it be proper for them to put their best barefoot forward? No. Edward Ramsay will go back to Queen Victoria and tell her that I am barbarian. Why you don't think of this?
We shall dress them up. European fashion.
You mean dress them in dresses?
How many women can I have to sew for me, Your Majesty?
All women in kingdom. How many dresses?
Well, that depends on how many ladies are chosen by Your Majesty.
You will help me decide who is most like European lady for dressing like sailor. Wake up! Wake up, wives, etc., etc., etc. I will also have Chinese artists paint faces very pale. You will also educate everyone on custom and manners for presentation.
I wonder how much time we shall have, Your Majesty.
Ramsay's gunboat last reported off of Songkla, so depending on how many port he called into, about 1 week.
1 week, Your Majesty, 1 week!
In this time, whole world created Moses. Is there anything else I do not think of?
We shall give them a fine dinner, a European dinner.
Yes, that's what I was going to do.
Oh, and a ball with music.
Music and dancing. Why you not think of dancing before?
It's an inspired idea, Your Majesty. Oh, and we shall give them a play. Top 10 is written a version of Uncle Tom's Cabin.
We will give them a theatrical performance. We will show them who is barbarian. Line up! Line up! Lady Chan, on Saturday next at 9 o'clock post meridian, we will give a very fine dinner. European dinner. You are to instruct the school on making dishes for Europe for tasting. I shall taste and school teacher shall taste. You shall help me decide who is most like European lady for dressing like same, etc., etc. You will make a tablecloth of fine white silk for a very long table. You also instruct musicians on music of Europe for dancing, etc., etc., etc. What? Am I to be annoyed by children right now? Who? Must be more scientific with the children. From now, for all of next week, we shall work without sleeping. And for everything that is not done, each man and woman shall be beaten 100 strokes. Make sure everyone knows this, Lady Chet. And above all, I am not to be worried about anything. Fireworks? At this hour, only I can order fireworks.
Your Majesty, the British, the gunboats.
They attack?
No, they salute, and we answer with fireworks. It's Sir Ramsay and his party.
Now?
Now, they come straight from Sangla, no stops.
No, stops, Your Majesty.
Tell them to go back. We are not ready.
Not ready, Your Majesty.
Oh, you were not here. You were not here. I just had best idea I ever had.
Still we do it. You can do it.
Huh. When the British arrive, we shall put them to bed. And then, tomorrow, we shall send them on sightseeing trip.
We shall start right this minute. Work, work, work. We have only 18 hours, but I shall do it somehow.
I shall do it. You shall help me.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Come, we ask Buddha for help. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow. Bow. Oh, Buddha, give us the aid of your strength and your wisdom.
Oh, God, give us the aid of your strength and your wisdom.
And help us prove to the visiting English that we are extraordinary and remarkable people.
And help us to prove to the visiting English that we are extraordinary and remarkable people.
Help also Mrs. Anna to stay awake for scientific sewing of dresses, even though she be a woman and a Christian and therefore unworthy of your interest. A promise is a promise. Your head shall never be higher than mine. Is promise.
And a Christian, and therefore unworthy of your interest.
And Buddha, I promise you I shall give this unworthy woman a house. A house of her own. A brick residence adjoining the royal palace, according to agreement, etc., etc., etc.